What is up, guys? It's Whatever here, and we are in the BBR D-League. Our friends Owen, Kurt, D-Ray, they're like, hey, we're starting up a D-League for BBR. We want to test some things on our prices and stuff like that. And then also we wanted to change some Terra rules around, see if we can get it going for the main league next season. And I was like, okay, these are my buddies. I hang out with them all the time. And they're like, there's one thing though, you got to upload. So I was like, you know what? Let's do it. If it's gonna be one opportunity, it's gonna be this one. So I was like, let's do it. Um, and yeah, so we're in here. There's I think 16 coaches, and one thing is I'm recording this on Pokemon Day, so literally just a few hours ago, Walking Wake and Iron Leaves were just released. Those are unfortunately not going to be in this draft. We're not going to see those at all this season, which sucks because they look cool. I don't know how good they're going to be, but they look cool. But yeah, we finished draft a few days before, so just a heads up, there's not going to be that. The Terra rules that they switched up are going to be where you can Terra one Pokemon, and you can choose one of its primary typings. If it's got two, you can choose either or, and then one other typing. And that kind of dictated how I drafted. Um, Another thing is like I said, this is on Pokemon Day, so literally, new timer is maybe possible. No one's really tested it yet because you have to set out a day in advance. So that's going to be very interesting to see if we can actually do a 60-minute timer. But I kind of drafted before the 60-minute timer. Kind of went a little bit more towards offense, but it is what it is. I kind of like that style of play anyway. But yeah, we'll get into it right now. First pick, we got Dragonite. Now, this is going to be our, Terra Captain, for sure. This is, like I said, I went to do Terra Captain like this because normal Dragonite is disgusting. With E-Speed, it can D-Dance, can be bulky. Going from that, having, 4 times weak to ice to having only one weakness in fighting is really good because even though a lot of Pokemon can get fighting coverage, it's going to be mostly like Brick Break and Low Kick. You definitely know which Pokemon get close combat and stuff like that. So you can definitely set up because this thing's stats are just so good. You can go physical, you can go special. I know its physical is way better, but special, it's got some good moves like Hurricane. Got the elemental coverage like, Surf, Fire Blast, Blizzard, Ice Beam. You can definitely do that. And, I saw Amel using this, and I know Amel's just phenomenal in building, and he just finds a set that works for anything. It could be a Dragonite, and it can be an Ice Q. That man is crazy with it. But he has been tearing it up with a Terra Water D-Knight in APA Classic, and so I just wanted to try it since then. And I haven't ever tried Dragonite with boots, so that's good. Way better than it probably was 2 gens ago, before that. But yeah, so we got 5th pick, Dragonite, really cool. And I was like, hey, let's just go ahead and go for the next best thing that's available, and that is Great Tusk. We got Great Tusk round 2. And the reason for that is because someone got Pelipper, Goldango, and Glamora right before it. Which to me is crazy because I feel like Great Tusk is a late round 1. It's one of those back wheel mons to where you get it 7th pick, 8th pick. You get it with that pairing because it's a rapid spinner, first of all. Gets rocks. So that's, 2 rolls that you can compress into one. And it's also super strong and super bulky. I think that it's so good at what it does, and it can normally trade a 1-for-1 and keep rocks off your side of the field. So that way I don't have to run, heavy duty boots if I don't want to. Spoiler alert, I'm probably going to because it's Dragonite and I want to have that multi-scale. But anyways, really good mon, really good coverage. I think this thing gets Psyshock for some reason. No clue why. I'm never going to use that, but it's just cool that it has it. But yeah, ground fighting, it's hard. Really, really strong, close combat, headlong rush. That thing, crazy. Yeah, so as you can see, a little bit of nice weakness here with our, first two. Technically, maybe not with Dragonite if I Terra normal. But we're going to go ahead and go to our next pick, which is Greninja. I was like, hey, I'm going to go get the most broken things that are left on the board, 1 and 2. And then the third pick, I'm going to start, building the team around it. I do know that as I picked Great Tusk, there was a Garchomp still there. Oh, dude, I love Garchomp. But Garchomp plus D-Knight didn't really work as well. So we got Great Tusk, and because of that, I was like, okay, well, I want speed now. And that's why we have Greninja here. We have Greninja because Greninja has been a staple of Draft League for like 3 years now. If you don't know what Greninja does, it can do a lot of things. I don't want to say everything because it's not like a Mew thing to where it can be defensive, offensive, setup, yada, yada, yada. But it's a pivot. Very loose words on that pivot because, you want to use it mainly for like switching it in on a double if you're offensive, leading it off, getting your spikes, toxic spikes up. But it's good momentum. It causes switches and it can get me momentum into one of my top two. Because, let's say what's your dark resistance, your fairy. So I'm just going to either gunk shot that and kill it, which is great for Great Tusk and Dragonite, or I'm going to U-turn out, and I'm going to Terra normal on Dragonite, and then not many fairy types can compete with that. So, yeah, Greninja, great Pokemon. Like I said, offensive, hazard support kind of thing, momentum. Draft League players, we love momentum. And then next, we got Azu. Now, Azu is very anti-meta. The most popular, or like the top mons, like Chanpao. It kind of, I want to say walls it because that mon is just broken, but it definitely helps me not die to 1. Yeah, unless it like tears into something. Oh, that'd be scary. But yeah, unless it tears into something, I know someone teared electric. So this like it doesn't really become a check then anymore. But we'll see that if we play it. But yeah, Azu, anti-meta pick. Fairy type, really good. Double water, I'm not too upset about. I like having a bulky water and I like having an offensive water. Azu can also be offensive if I wanted to. Belly drum sets are still scary, But huge power, play rough, liquidation, this thing just, it ends lives. Look, it's so happy, but it's just going to take your life in front of you. Next, we got Sandy Shocks. Like I said, I was kind of building around that first two, and I know this is, again, another ground type, though. Only thing is this is another hazard setter, so it's going to be most likely my Rocker or Spiker. That way Greninja and Great Tusk aren't, like, fit, or they're not, like, pigeonholed into those roles. It just gives me another option. Gives me a way to break waters right now, because if you see my team, I do not break waters at all. Flying types, also a problem, unless it's Greninja's like Ice Beam. But yeah, it just was something I needed. Also, that base like 100 speed tier area, I think it's 101, so it outspeeds the base 100s, which is really good. Kind of gives me a little bit more speed tiers to work with. Like, I don't think speed tiers are a necessity in draft, but I also think that it's like, what do you call it? It's just on yourself. If you want to draft whatever, but don't complain when your speed tiers are bad and you are like, oh, I have nothing that outspeeds this and this and this. So it just helps with that. It helps in building. Speed tiers are definitely like a building helper. Not much to say about Sandy Shocks. I haven't used it yet. I haven't really seen it used too much. It's an electric type that can hit ground types with earth power, which is going to be stab. So not terrible. And that's one of the main reasons why I like it. Because I like my electric types not to get walled by one type. I just like Pokemon like that in general. Like, usually, like them not to be walled by just them forcing to bring one thing. Next is Bronzong. I was like, okay, I want some defensive pivots now. Because even though Great Tusk, Azu, can both be like, bulky and defensive, I wanted to get something that I can actually have as a switch into something. It's a levitate mon, so it gives kind of help with that, ground resist, quote unquote. But yeah, Bronzong's just been a staple of many of my teams for years. I just love this thing. I know it got a few new moves like Ice Spinner and stuff like that this gen, so that's cool. Yeah, just another rocker, another a steel type, which helps with fairies, because again, didn't really have anything that beats fairies, other than Greninja, Protean being Gunk Shot. But yeah, kind of just there to be Bronzong. You know what Bronzong does. It comes in, sets rocks. Doesn't get toxic anymore, so it can't do that. But it just is there to be annoying. There to kind of like waste your time. Next is gonna be Wo-Chen. I got the fuzzies now. Live Wo-Chen reaction. Because this man, I don't know what it is. He just fascinates me. His typing is so not good, but then again, Zarude is good. It's just, it doesn't have recovery. It's bulky. It's got Leech Seed and Protect, which is cool. The main thing I wanted was A, Dark type, B, knockoff user. I think if the more knockoff you give on a team, the better it is to help your top tier threats. And Wo-Chen does that. Also, Ruination is a really good move. And I think this is going to be, I think most of the time, I'm bringing probably my top 6. But I wanted to draft my last 3 Pokemon because I only got 9. Because I just figured kind of going top heavy is the wave. So I only got 9. But these 3 are more matchup dependent. If you have the strong psychic types, I can bring Wo-Chen. And, if you have yada yada, I can bring any of the others. But yeah, so it's mainly here to get Leech Seeds off, knock off your shit, and then just kind of be annoying. So that's kind of what I went for with both Bronzong and, Wo-Chen. But yeah, this man is a menace, and I saw this thing kill a Suian Sneasler with a Zen Headbutt one time, and that was the craziest thing I ever saw. Live Wo-Chen reaction for that, for sure. Next is going to be Gallade. Now listen to me. I know what you're thinking. Another psychic type? That's 2. You have 2 ground types, 2 water types, 2 psychic types? What are you doing? Gallade was 7 points. Let me just repeat that. Gallade was 7 points. Gallade was, I think, was it lower than Wo-Chen? Let me just double check real quick. Yeah, Gallade was less than Wo-Chen. And I can tell you right now, Gallade is probably at the level of Sandy Shocks. Probably right around Sandy Shocks or right below. Because sharpness is busted. Okay? This thing, what is it? Sacred Sword, boosted by sharpness. Psycho Cut, boosted by sharpness. Leaf Blade, so you can't even go into your slow bros anymore. Slow Kings, doesn't matter. You kind of lose. Life Orb sets, agility sets. You can do Sword Stance sets. Shadow Sneak is still there. This thing is just so strong. You could Scarf it, Band it. It's strong. It's not that fast, but this boy hitting, And so I was like, 7 points, I just had to get it. I just had to get it. It's there to break holes. It's an immediate breaker, other than, any of my top threats like Azu and Great Tusk. So that's really cool. That's definitely the only reason why I got it, was it's 7 points. And, fuck it, we ball. After this, though, I do remember, because I brought it up to, I was drafting, and I was talking to Owen, I was about my draft, and I was like, hey, why is Gallade in 7 points? And he was like, oh, we were supposed to move that up to, 10 plus. And I was like, well, I'm taking it now. So I did. This thing is going to be really good. I think it's going to be pretty busted this season. And then last is going to be Reverum. Now, Reverum is kind of the last mon. It's going to be Poison Steel. Gives me a second Steel. I know, I like doubling up on types, but I just think Pokemon are cool. Never tried it. It's got parting shot, so more momentum because I don't really have much momentum other than, Volt turn combo of Gren and Sandy Shocks. It's just kind of there to also get T-Spikes up if I don't want to have Gren do that. Um, I know it gets like its signature move like Spin Out or something. That's pretty good steel type, so it's an offensive steel as well that can actually like hit fairies and stuff if I need to. Um, let's see. I think also let's see. Reverum, Overcoat Filter. Yeah, base 119 attack. That's pretty good. 90 speed. Yeah. Oh, I forgot. Of course. Um, yeah. Just pretty much that. That's it. Literally just dual typing fairy killer type thing. Yeah, that it's Reverum. It's not a lot of points. It wasn't really looking for anything too crazy from it. Just kind of there to round things out with giving me more options and momentum. That's it. But yeah, we are definitely. I really like the squad, even though like I don't have like a fire type, not necessary. You know, rock type, nope. Let's see, what other types am I missing? Got a poison, got a flying, got a fairy, got a psychic. No normal. No normal type. That's a big one. But Wo-Chen is the best resist, and we have double dark too, so not too scared about that. But yeah, this is the squad, and we are going for the championship because they said that you might be moved up if you win championship. So we're definitely gonna try to do that. Yeah. So that's gonna be it for our draft. I think our what is it? Our battle should be going up next week. And I will see you guys then. Peace.